Blood dripped from Marcus Kane's forehead as his $300,000 sports car hung upside down, spinning slowly over the dark river below. The richest man in the city was about to die, and no one would ever find his body. Help me,
please.
He screamed into the empty night. That's when he saw her. A woman with a round belly stepped out from behind the twisted metal barrier. She was pregnant, maybe 7 months along. Her clothes were torn and dirty. Her face was hidden in shadows. "Please," Marcus whispered. "I can't feel my legs." The mysterious woman didn't speak. She just stared at him through the shattered windshield. Then she did something that made Marcus's heart stop. She smiled, but it wasn't a kind smile. It was a smile of someone who knew a deadly secret. The car creaked. Metal groaned. Any second now, the whole thing would snap and fall into the black water 60 feet below. "Who are you?" Marcus asked. Instead of answering, the woman reached into her jacket. Marcus thought she might pull out a phone to call for help. She didn't. She pulled out a knife that gleamed in the moonlight. Marcus's eyes went wide with terror. This wasn't a rescue. This was something much, much worse. The pregnant woman stepped closer to the hanging car, and that's when Marcus saw her face clearly for the first time. He knew exactly who she was, and he knew why she wanted him dead. Marcus Kane straightened his gold tie as he walked into the fancy hotel. Tonight was the biggest business deal of his life. He was about to buy half the city. "Mr. Kane," a reporter shouted, "is it true you're tearing down the children's hospital?" Marcus didn't answer. He never talked to reporters. They were like flies buzzing around his money. Inside the hotel, rich people in expensive clothes sipped champagne. They all wanted to shake hands with the famous billionaire. Marcus hated every single one of them, but he smiled and pretended to care. Marcus, darling, called Victoria his girlfriend. She wore diamonds that cost more than most people's houses. "The mayor wants to meet you." But Marcus wasn't listening. Across the crowded room, he saw something that made his blood freeze. A woman in a black dress stood by the window. She had long dark hair and was clearly pregnant. She stared directly at him with eyes full of pure hate. Marcus blinked, and she was gone. "Did you see that woman?" he asked Victoria. "What woman?" Marcus looked around frantically. The pregnant woman had vanished like a ghost. But on the table where she had been standing, someone had left a single white rose. Attached to the rose was a note written in red ink. "You destroyed my family. Tonight, I destroy you." Marcus's hands shook as he read the words. His heart pounded so hard he thought it might explode. Someone wanted him dead, and they were already inside the hotel. Marcus ran to the hotel security guard. "There's a woman here who wants to hurt me." The guard looked confused. "Sir, we checked everyone at the door. No pregnant women came in tonight." That was impossible. Marcus had seen her with his own eyes. He grabbed the security camera footage from the guard's desk. Fast-forwarding through hours of video, he saw himself walking in. He saw Victoria laughing with friends. He saw hundreds of rich people dancing and eating, but he never saw the pregnant woman in the black dress. "This can't be right," Marcus whispered. She was right there. Suddenly, the lights went out. The entire hotel plunged into darkness. People started screaming. In the chaos, Marcus felt someone grab his arm. "Time to pay for what you did," a woman's voice whispered in his ear. It was her, the pregnant woman. Marcus pulled away and ran blindly through the dark hotel. He crashed into tables and knocked over chairs. Behind him, he could hear her footsteps getting closer. "You can't run forever, Marcus Kane." He burst through the hotel's back door into the parking lot. His red sports car gleamed under the streetlights. Safety was just 20 feet away. Marcus fumbled for his keys, his hands shaking with terror. The car door clicked open. He threw himself inside and locked the doors. In his rear-view mirror, he saw nothing but empty darkness. He had escaped. Marcus started the engine and sped out of the parking lot. He didn't care about speed limits or red lights. He just wanted to get home where his bodyguards could protect him. But as he raced down the winding mountain road that led to his mansion, something caught his eye. In the passenger seat sat the pregnant woman. She hadn't been there a second ago. "Hello, Marcus," she said calmly. "Let me tell you about my daughter." Marcus's car swerved wildly as he stared at the woman beside him. "How did you get in here?" "My daughter's name was Emma," she said, ignoring his question. "She was only 8 years old. She loved drawing pictures of butterflies." "I don't know what you're talking about." Marcus screamed, but his hands were shaking on the steering wheel. "She was in the children's hospital. The one you're tearing down tomorrow." The woman's voice was deadly quiet. "She needed surgery to live, but you canceled it." Marcus's face went white. He remembered now. 3 months ago, he had bought the children's hospital. It wasn't making enough money, so he decided to destroy it and build expensive apartments instead. "The doctors said they could save her if they had more time," the woman continued. "But you kicked everyone out. You said sick children were bad for business." That's not how it happened," Marcus whispered, but he knew she was telling the truth. "Emma died waiting for surgery in a different hospital. She died because you cared more about money than a little girl's life." Tears rolled down the woman's face, but her voice stayed calm and cold. "I'm her mother, Sarah, and now you know why I want you to suffer." Marcus looked at her belly. "But you're pregnant again. You have another child to think about." Sarah's smile was terrifying. "This isn't my baby, Marcus. This is Emma's spirit. She came back to make sure justice is done." At that exact moment, the steering wheel spun out of Marcus's control. The car flew off the mountain road, flipping through the air toward the river below. But instead of crashing into the water, the car got caught in the twisted metal barrier, hanging upside down 60 feet above the dark river. Marcus was trapped, and Sarah was no longer in the car with him. She was standing on the road above, holding that gleaming knife. "Now," she called down to him, "let's see if anyone will save your life." Marcus hung upside down, blood dripping from his cuts. The car creaked dangerously with every breath he took. "Please, Sarah," he shouted up to her. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean for Emma to die." Sarah climbed down to the hanging car, her knife glinting in the moonlight. "You didn't mean it? You signed the papers. You counted the money. You knew children would suffer." The metal groaned louder. Any second now, the car would fall. But then something unexpected happened. Sarah suddenly grabbed her belly and cried out in pain. "The baby! Something's wrong." Marcus watched in shock as Sarah collapsed to her knees beside his car. She was going into labor, right here, right now. "Help me," she gasped, the knife falling from her hand. Marcus stared at her. This was his chance to escape. He could let her suffer alone, just like he had let Emma suffer. But looking at Sarah's terrified face, Marcus saw something he had forgotten how to see. Another human being in pain. "Listen to me carefully," Marcus called out, his business training kicking in. "You need to breathe slowly. In and out. Can you reach your phone?" I don't have one," Sarah whispered. The car shook violently. Marcus knew he only had minutes before it fell. But he also knew Sarah needed help now. "You have to cut me down," Marcus said. "Use the knife to cut the seatbelt. I can help deliver your baby." Sarah looked at him with confusion. "Why would you help me?" "I tried to kill you." "Because," Marcus said, and for the first time in years, he meant every word. "No child should die because adults are too proud to help each other." With shaking hands, Sarah picked up the knife. She reached into the car and carefully cut Marcus's seatbelt. He fell hard onto the car's roof, but managed to crawl out just as the car finally snapped free and crashed into the river below. 30 minutes later, as sirens wailed in the distance, Marcus held Sarah's newborn baby in his arms. The child was perfect. Tiny fingers, bright eyes, and a strong cry that echoed through the night. "It's a girl," Marcus whispered, tears streaming down his face. Sarah smiled weakly. "I want to name her Hope." As the ambulance took Sarah and baby Hope to the hospital, Marcus made a phone call. "Cancel the demolition," he told his assistant. "The children's hospital stays open, and I want to fund it completely. Every child who needs surgery gets it for free." 6 months later, Marcus stood in the new Emma Memorial Wing of the Children's Hospital. On the wall was a beautiful painting of butterflies, just like the ones Emma used to draw. Sarah walked up beside him, carrying baby Hope. "Do you think Emma would have liked it?" Marcus asked quietly. Sarah smiled, a real smile this time, full of warmth instead of hate. I think, she said, Emma will be happy that her story saved other children. Marcus nodded, watching through the window as dozens of children played in the hospital's new playground. Sometimes the worst moments in life teach us how to become the best versions of ourselves. And sometimes saving someone else's life is the only way to save your own soul. If this incredible tale of revenge, redemption, and second chances left you speechless, you're not alone. Smash that like button. If Marcus's transformation touched your heart, drop a comment below. What would you have done in Marcus's position? Would you have helped Sarah or tried to escape? Hit subscribe and turn on the notifications bell for more jaw-dropping stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat. We post mind-blowing tales like this every week. Share this story with someone who needs to hear about the power of choosing compassion over revenge.